Hey there, folks. This is David on David's Brain, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Metaphor ReFantazio for the PS5. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, contribute to my Patreon, links in the description at the bottom, and... well, I mean, where the hell do I even start?
What now?
Yeah, Triumph undone. Okay, perfect. The party returns to the capital of glory, cheered by all who believe the boy the true prince. Yet in confronting Louise, he casts some secret magic, transforming the boy into a horrific human. Or rather, as a giant purple glowy gloop monster, but whatever. Though the spell fades, the people have turned on the boy, seeing him as a monster in disguise. The party flees the raging mob, bound for the ancient Elden Sanctum, where the prince rests. Oh yeah, and his boy. And the freaking Hot Topic manager. Oh no, wait, yeah, I forgot. He's not a Hot Topic manager. He's a franchise owner. Anyways, the Hot Topic franchise owner beat us to the punch and went on a rampage and slaughtered everyone here, or at least a good chunk of people here. Yeah, needless to say, we're cooked. I mean, even though I'm an Elda. Nobody seems to recognize me. Yeah, I just realized Elda is just one letter short of Eldian. We can turn into humans, so yeah, no, we're basically we're basically playing as Eren Yeager. To be completely honest, there are those within the sanctum who think ill of both His Highness and the Resistance. But life is priceless. For him to have died in such a way at so tender an age. Let us pray so that such a tragedy is never repeated. Offer your prayers not to any idol, but to the God that dwells within. The God that dwells within.
Now what am I to do?
And yeah, I know there's a whole lot of way better weapons back in Grand Strad. That is, of course, if we could actually get to them, but... oh... Jesus H.
What now?
This has been a complete and utter unmitigated disaster. Yeah, even if we manage to make it out of here...
In the name of justice!
Well, I mean, look at what Luis has done. Our rep is tanked, the prince is dead. I mean, we're cooked. Yeah, just serve us up. We're cooked. Plain and simple. Bye-bye, kids. Have fun. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
By the sworn oath of knighthood.
Huh. Perhaps this suits me best.
Even white lies can still weigh you down.
Well, I really hate to go and say this line, but hey, it's not like things can get a whole lot worse. Alright. Alright. Well, all that's left is check the body. Like, that's really going to make such a big difference.
This way.
No. Your Highness.
Why?
I didn't realize anyone still remained to weep over this child. Huh? Gallica, you've returned.
Milady Gruide. It's been a long time.
May I ask who this is?
She is the chiefess of this village. The Hermitess Gruide.
She was kind enough to shelter the entire organization when His Highness fled to these woods.
I can't believe he's gone. I'm just some parapus orphan from the slums. I was never supposed to outlive any prince. Was he killed here?
No, it all happened in the bunk room in the back. We moved him here to the altar once all was quiet. I don't know if you'd believe me, but I received a revelation. Should the prince die, his body should be kept safe and still here until the rightful day comes, even if the boy is but a bastard sired by that despicable man. He is still Her Majesty's son.
Despicable? What, you mean the king? Wait, who's Her Majesty?
Do you know nothing of the child's mother? The boy was not brought across borders to us. He was born here, in the ancient sanctum. His mother was our past chiefess, the queen of our elder tribe. She was a flower amidst the forests, a woman of such beauty, grace, and kindness. She saved this child from the flames. And it cost her her life. Her death is on that man's hands. Like a piper, he wandered in and seduced the young queen with his idealistic tales. But he failed to protect his family and died powerless. The village was only set ablaze because the boy was in the way of the Sanctus Church's designs on the throne. And that insipid king could do nothing to stop them. But you see, this boy, His Highness the Prince, looks so much like Her Majesty. And so... You there, boy. Are you perhaps... No, it can't be. And yet...
Is something amiss, Milady Gruide? He is one of Gallica's allies. His loyalty stands with His Highness, and he has risked much in the prince's name.
Whoa! What's with the formal introduction? You were the one who gave us our orders in the first place.
Hurry.
Oh God! I'm having a psychotic break again.
You okay?
The time has come. Here thou camest to the end of thy journey. This secret place was home to thee. Now, remember thy path thus far. Walk thy life's road and see it anew.
Oh boy, now we're really in for it.
I have been waiting for thee to overcome thy trials. Long have I waited for thy return. Know this, his life is not yet ended.
Huh? Wait, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
It all started on that ill-fated day when the usurper thought to extinguish his light. Before he fades away, recount all thou hast seen and felt, all thou hast gained in thy journey's course.
I now look to the past. I see the roads I traveled on this journey.
Gallica and thee sought to take the head of Louise, but thy efforts came to naught. So, ye moved instead to join a tournament to decide the land's king.
In the prince's name, yeah.
In the prince's name.
Though thy plan was reckless, thou didst win the trust of the people by the support of peers and subjects alike. Thus, thou didst declare thyself the prince.
It was all for victory.
After overcoming many obstacles, thou didst finally lift the prince's curse. Yet by the cruel machinations of another, the young prince...
He lies dead before me.
Thy sole mission was to save the prince. Bereft of him, thou hast no further reason to live.
I think I do declare bullshit. You said earlier that he's not, that he's still alive, right? So...
That's not true.
If the prince is dead, wert thy efforts all for naught?
You said that he's not dead. So what do you know, oh great mysterious voice? Yeah, quit jerking me around and explain yourself.
He's not dead.
So thy resolve is yet unbroken. So be it. Thou hast earned the truth. He was consumed by the curse, and was taken by a deep, abiding slumber. Yet his soul remained alive, so from his earthly form, I extracted his soul, that he might travel the land in Odyssey. And thus, his stilled sands began to flow once more. Thy journey hast taken thee far, and taught thee much. So now I ask thee, who art thou?
Wait, she said, yeah, the prince consumed by the curse, so this voice extracted his soul. So it turns out I'm not Aaron Yeager. I'm actually Zero from Mega Man X. Yeah. I'm actually the container for the prince's soul.
I'm the prince's friend.
Is that truly thy role? Clear your mind and think, to name but a few. Thy parents? Memories of thy youth? Hast thou any recollection of where and how thy youngest years were spent? Yes. Thy memories begin the moment thou befriend the prince. Dost thou suspect the reason?
I don't have a past.
As I said, thou hast nothing. Thou art a being of mine own creation. 'Twas Gallica alone who the Resistance laid their hopes upon all those days past. Thy life had yet to begin. All thou hadst, all that had been bestowed, was a memory. Thy mission to save the prince. Thy memories of youth in the prince's company, and the void enshrouding all else in thy past. All signs of thy conjured existence.
I have nothing?
Nay, the words of the prince in thy memory are unmistakably of his true heart. The memories gained on thy journey, the friendships made, the trust forged. These true things art thine own. All thy trials, all thy experiences, wert to prepare thee for this day. To share the strength thou hast gained with thy other self.
Yeah, so, yeah. I'm the princess. We've been playing as the prince, or at least his soul.
Do you mean...
The trusted friendship I gained has been there to support me. But if they'd known I come from nothing, that I am nothing, would people have stood by me, believed in me? And the same goes for the desire to help anyone in need. How is it I have touted such a laudably idealistic belief this long?
Accept the truth, and thou wilt face an ordeal beyond any you have yet faced. If thy desire is instead for freedom, thou mayest still abandon thy mission and end it here.
Is that right?
So I bid thee answer my final question. Who art thou in truth?
Yep. Staring me right in face. Now, accept the truth. Would you kindly?
I am the prince.
What is this? I feel a curious resonance.
Could this be? But how? Impossible.
Hey, what's going on?
What awaits us now?
Something insane.
Hark, life is not yet lost. Thou wert born apart from the prince's flesh, born of his desire to change the world. In his stead didst thou travel the world. Thou didst support his heart, and became his living fantasy. That is thy true self. Thou art everything the prince sought to be, his ideal.
I'm his self-insert? I'm his living fanfic!
It all began with the novel in thy possession. Drawn by the divine relic, Magla coalesced into flesh, and flesh coalesced into form. The form of an elder, as I once was. Time hath come. Awaken, reborn anew. No more the prince's dream of utopia thou wouldst chase. Nay, but thine own.
I am thou, and thou art I.
What? What is this?
What's happened?
Thou hast done well to guide him this far.
This voice. I'm sure I've heard it before.
Thy mind should now be clearing. Remember now thy true charge. He was never a member of the Resistance. The mission, the departure, was thine alone. And thereafter didst thou encounter him.
Who are you? Wait, what am I saying?
In those long ago days, he had just been born into this land. Newborn in form, if not in appearance, the boy needed a guide. Thus, I decided his memories would be thine. Thou wouldst share past and purpose, a memory so crafted to suit thee. My journey to the capital would not be made alone, but alongside him.
No, that can't be. He was there when we got our orders.
I never thought I would have to ask this of you. But there are so few of us left now. There is no one else to turn to. Will you infiltrate the military to deliver a message to our contact there? This is your mission. For all our sakes, you cannot fail.
No! But... I was alone?
By this choice, he might be saved. By these gentle, necessary lies, we could live to see this day, when our dearest wish is fulfilled. As he traveled alongside thee, he gained both strength and wisdom. It is only by thy efforts that my voice reached him. He has now been saved. And so the journey ends here. Thou hast fulfilled thy mission admirably.
What? Wait just a minute. What do you mean, it ends here?
From here on, thy path is thy own. Choose thy own future for thyself, and may the fates smile on thy journey.
How do we make sense of this?
Is it really you? How do you feel?
Well, I'm a little, so, yeah, turns out that I'm the Princess Living fanfiction, but apparently we're now reborn, and I'm basically just the prince in all but name. So, I don't even know. Well, yeah, like Hulkenberg said, how do we explain this? It's magic. We don't have to explain it.
I feel fine, I think.
There seems to be no doubt. He is still himself, but I also sense His Highness within him.
Everyone? I need to tell you something. The truth is...
So let me get this straight. You're saying it's not a matter of our captain and His Highness joining together, but that the former was this disembodied entity sprung from the latter?
Basically.
That's why he had no memories? 'Cause he didn't even exist?
I see. Finally, I understand the strange feeling I had sensed upon our meeting. What shaped you, so to speak, was the prince's will itself, a part of his consciousness. Yes, the prince's very heart. He was his soul given flesh. Perhaps the form we knew was one shaped by material magla, much like how the dragon god manifests beyond the vessel Drakadios.
A mass of magla with a will. Forget the dragon god. He may as well have been a dragon himself. Small wonder he awakened to an archetype before anyone else. It was no great aptitude for magic. He himself was composed of pure magla.
The self, as a manifestation of one's desires. Similar to archetypes. I suppose this is the very essence of magic.
You mean to say that it was not merely pretense to claim the prince's name? He truly was His Highness all along?
Well, what you're saying is true, from a certain point of view.
If that's true, this is finally your reunion with your sworn liege. Seems like cause for rejoicing, eh? Lady Hulkenberg of the Royal Guard.
But I failed to protect His Highness.
No. I am sure the strength of your devotion had a hand in saving him.
While all and sundry believed the lad had shuffled off, you alone kept the faith, milady. And in the end, that faith was rewarded.
Fate was changed.
Are you really His Royal Highness the Prince? Please, please forgive me, Your Highness. I failed you when you needed me most. And more, despite being a member of your royal guard, I did not recognize Your Highness at our meeting and showed you such insolence.
Look. Look, it doesn't really matter at this point.
It never bothered me.
That's right, Hulkenberg. We've been through so much together. What could we be but allies?
This time, I will protect you. Even should it cost me my very life. I swear to it.
Finally, we've done Grius proud. We've really done it.
By the way, what are we supposed to call you now? I mean, how would you prefer to be addressed, my lord?
Just call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner, basically.
You can just keep, calling me Captain.
No, Your Highness! With all respect, I must object.
That's my order.
This is no time to be thick-headed, Miguel. He's the one who gets to decide what we bally call him, so we'll listen to him, eh? What?
You, sir, should be begging His Highness for forgiveness on bended knee. You mangled the royal runner to your own whimsy, you lout!
Well, that is. I mean, it was all dashed useful in the end, wasn't it? A bit of clemency, Your Highness.
So much for acting same as always.
So, it turns out that, yeah, I really was the prince.
It's beyond belief. Not just that a child who'd lain cold for years could come back to us, but through such extraordinary circumstances. After so long in the curse's thrall, he could not even open his eyes. He may as well have been a corpse. But all this time, he had been on his own journey. It was the boy's dearest wish. He spoke of a fantasy of traveling the world, meeting its people, seeing its truths. And without him even knowing, magic made it real. He is a child of Elden blood and Elden legacy. All these years he spent in the village, he has rested near the secret of true magic. Perhaps this is how it came to be.
His was a fantasy surpassing fantasy. It became more than a dream, but a self-possessed force acting of its own volition. And now, reunited, Prince and fantasy live anew.
A journey to discover and reclaim the self, in all senses. No wonder he set off the custom igniter in the Royal Gauntlet Runner. It was the Crown Prince himself.
Even having it all explained like this, it feels like nothing short of a miracle.
I can only guess that fate had a hand in it.
That's right. I remember, I heard a voice. Guide him, it said.
Yeah, yeah, that voice. And I'm guessing that's the voice of my, well, okay, my mom.
A voice? Whose?
If you can't remember anything from before our journey, then we probably met after you'd only just, happened, right? I shouldn't have known you then. But for some reason, I was convinced that we'd always been together. I thought we both received the order to save the prince, too. Ever since the moment I heard that weird voice guiding me.
A voice? Lady Gruaday mentioned a revelation. Hold on, are we still being mystic and metaphorical, or was there an actual guide involved?
Yes.
I know someone was guiding me. I just don't know who.
So a disembodied voice. Hang on. Come to think of it, that sounds a bit familiar for me too.
Hey, who do you think the voice belongs to? Any idea?
I have an inkling.
I have a faint idea, but I'm not entirely sure.
Come to think of it, this place, the light coming in, they seem familiar.
Yep.
I might say the same.
When I first acquired this power, I had a vision of somewhere not unlike these grounds.
Does this mean that we've been guided as well?
Perhaps someone has been at your side unseen, watching over the course of your journey. I imagine all this comes as a great shock for you as well. But here you are, back in your rightful place. You have come to the end of your arduous journey and found new life. It is a life well won, grasped with your own two hands.
Chiefess Cruiday, we want to know everything. What is the truth behind your tribe, the Elder? We Mustari are also said to have inherited truths of the world before us. Histories hushed by sanctism. But this village, it is something altogether different. I myself feel a strange familiarity here. A lost haven underground, yet letting of the sky's light. Please, tell us, what is the Elder Tribe?
To know what we are, you must first know our history. Come to the altar room past the door. I'll wait for you there.
So, yeah, we are the prince. His fanfiction. The truth of the prince. The son and heir to the throne of King Hythlodaeus V, the prince and Morpheus are now one and the same. The attack on the prince inside the royal palace led his aides to conclude the capital was no longer safe for him, so they secretly moved the prince to the ancient Eldon sanctum to continue recovering. Alas, their Eldon techniques were not enough to lift his curse, and he continued to decline until falling into a coma. However, he had guidance from a mysterious voice, and an indomitable will that would not see his ideals abandoned. Through these, a new body made of Magla was created, much like the dragons of yore. The prince's spirit inhabited this new body, and he started another life as an entirely separate young man. That young man, oddly enough, pursues a journey to change the world, something the prince likely would have wished to take on had he been well enough. And through that journey, the young man came to know the truth behind everything, and after his spirit returned to his body, he could then reveal himself publicly as the prince once more. Yeah. Old Hermitus Druidae, an elderly Elda tribe chiefess living in the ancient Eldon sanctum. Once the principal lady in waiting for the queen, she's a sagacious woman who safeguards the true history behind the Elda tribe, the old world, and magic. She was also the person who took custody of the prince and kept him safe until he secretly fled the capital palace. Secretly fled the royal palace.
What now?
Ultimate power.
Archetypes draw their power from thy soul. The heroes of old perished, only possessing one. Yet this marks thee apart. Thou canst acquire and wield many. Find thou the ultimate heroic embodiment, that which eluded thy predecessors. Who are you? This voice, I can't remember. And even then, what is the Elder? The Elder Queen. What's her connection to Moore? Hey, Russell? How could this be? His Highness resurrected? 'Tis a most joyous turn of events, of course, but I dare say my heart needs a reprieve from all these sharp twists of fate. Oh, your heart? What about me? To think he'd been alive and well, residing in a body composed from magla particles. He furthered his goals by storing his mind within another vessel. 'Tis reminiscent of His Majesty's royal magic.
What?
Yeah, no, this is just... Yeah, this is the altar where everyone awakened to their archetypes.
Oh, very nice.
Never before have I seen such incredible magic. Your Highness, as I understand it, you managed to thwart 2 separate attempts on your life, correct? Yeah, let's try not to go for 3. We Eldar are used to weathering our fair share of misfortune, yet you've inevitably faced so much worse. And now it's high time we learn the real truth. What in the heavens? The dead prince is alive? Old man Russell must be dumbfounded. If the rest of the resistance still lived, I wonder how they might have taken the news. Yeah, somewhere between dumbfounded, struck dumbfounded and shitting their pants. Probably. There's the bed I saw in the far sight mirror.
It's okay.
We're sure it's somewhere. Grease is happy for us too. So we need to keep our heads up, okay?
Oh, now this I can't believe.
There was a really bright light, and now there's a dead person who came back to life? Are all the royalty from the outside world like you? The outside world sounds ridiculous.
This whole thing is insane. What are you talking about?
Oh, finally awake, huh? I mean, come on, sleeping's great and all, but there's so much more fun stuff you can do while you're awake. You can collect pretty flower petals, go splash in the water. Super fun, right?
And also fighting the guy who tried to kill me twice and put him in the ground.
Come off it.
Well, I'll be. Am I correct in presuming that you're the prince now? I hadn't heard of any elder boy joining the resistance ranks and going out on missions, so seeing you took me by surprise. To think that you are the prince's other half. Fate is a fickle one.
Yeah, now, how could this be? It's truly a miracle. Lady Gruiday mentioned she caught wind of some matter of revelation. Could this be the late Queen's... Yep. Apparently Mommy Dearest pulled one last trick.
Oh, it's you!
Beyond here lies the altar of secret history. The sanctuary was houses the true story of our people and world. Lady Gruiday awaits you inside. Ah, and also please kindly refrain from making any loud noises unless you startle the fairies.
I think there's going to be plenty of loud noises to be made here. And yeah, no wonder Ford wanted to see this place burn. Yeah, the truth of the history? Yeah, just to go and spread Sanctusum's horse crap. Alright, well... Okay, then Grandma Exposition, do your thing.
Does this depict the Elder tribe?
Elder comes from an ancient word, meaning only the old ones. It was an alias given by our ancestors to outsiders who visited the village in the distant past. As for our original name, you know it well by now. We were humans.
The human tribe. So Luis's words...
There is no human tribe. Tribes, as we know them today, did not exist then. We were all one people. Humankind.
Humanity.
A world united. But wait. The ruins on Virga Island. There's nothing left of the civilization today. Was it destroyed? Why? How?
A war. One that all but destroyed the world past. But its destruction was born of the discovery of Magla. Or as you call it today, magic. Do you wonder what they battled over? Without the divided tribes, what could they have disagreed on? They were racked by division. Over the abstract, undefinable idea of rightness. They tried to destroy something invisible, and destroyed only themselves. and any idea of absolute rightness is born of fear. That fear flooded the world and gave way to war. And their age of prosperity came to be called the world before. The people we now call tribes were either born of artificial division for the sake of the war effort, or natural adaptation to survive the hellscape after.
Humanity was torn apart by fear and anxiety, giving rise to the tribes as we know them. So, yeah, like I thought before, humanity, divided between the 9 tribes, or the 8 tribes, and then... So, how exactly did humans go from, like, little bat people to furries to giant Lovecraftian hell beasts that eat people? How exactly did that divide come about?
Unbelievable. We've met plenty of people caught up in pointless conflicts. Given the choice, I know they'd rather live in a world without tribal division. And yet the truth is, that world's already fallen apart. More than that, it's how we all got here.
Such drastic physical changes would normally have taken eons to effect. Accelerated by Magla, however, it was only a matter of a scant few centuries. You understand now, yes? We, the Elder, are the survivors of the old world. Our ancestors fled the flames of war and thus escaped the ensuing divisions.
That means the prince. As to say, I am the scion of both the old world and the new.
It beggars belief. Tis nothing short of astounding. But then, why do we know these monsters as humans?
By the war's end, both sides were consumed by fear. Their magical assaults escalated with each retaliation, until it was beyond all control. Our world became a hell. Rampant Magla distorts the body and mind. By now, I'm sure you know that better than you ever wished to. Humans are what remains of that branch of humankind that succumbed to melancholia. Broken, horrifying testaments to their own mistakes in the war of magic. Some persist, breed, and multiply as any beast does. Others live centuries of agony before their lives burn out. Even we do not know the full scope of their nature. Regardless, when the 8 tribes settled in this land, our claim to the human legacy was forgotten. To the people, the name only meant slavering, insane monsters. Therefore, we took on an alias instead. The same one by which we are known today. The Elder.
So, the old world couldn't control its magic, and... Wait. How does the Sanctus Church fit in? All this revisionist history to spread their magic igniters.
Indeed, what are magic igniters to you? Tools for the Church to shackle the people, perhaps? Or weapons that hide magic's true potential? Am I close to the mark? In truth, it's the opposite. Igniters are tools made to limit magic. Restraints made in self-discipline, meant to avert a repeat of history's destructive mistakes. The Sanctus Church of today is muddied by greed, but its faith was born of good intentions. They once urged self-control, and thus control of one's personal magic. At times, they preached we must close our eyes to the truth when it would only lead us to ruin. By this benign tenet, history was obscured, and the Elder denounced.
I had no idea. There's a grim irony in that.
His Majesty only hid his son's ancestry to protect him. Yet in the end, that meant Forden could attack the village under any pretext he liked, his motives concealed.
With all that said, you have now reclaimed your true form. The friends that stand with you are of different tribes and ideologies, but of one mind. As you are now, you may walk the path of the rightful king. The path of a modern world, where the tribes walk as individuals, yet with mutual respect and cooperation.
The sovereign's power, thou king to be, entrusted with the will of the people. To bear their hopes is to be their rock in the storm, and to face anxiety in their names. Yet, anxiety itself is not something to blindly reject or desperately cast away. It begins with a simple thing, acknowledging its existence. Accept thy weakness, walk forward alongside it, and thou wilt grow strong and true in its company.
There is weakness in people. I'm sure there are many who would say that helping anyone in need is nothing but a fantasy, but...
And besides...
But realistic or not, I refuse to accept Luis's method as the alternative. The weak and those who dissent don't deserve to die out as though that's a natural order. Oh, hello! My determination to challenge the unknown has awakened the heroic embodiment of the prince. If no one understands me right away, I accept that. There will still be meeting and showing them my convictions in the fight to come.
Let's fight.
That is my mission.
That's it. I've made up my mind. I'm with you to the end, no matter what.
Where's this coming from?
Before we got there, this guiding voice thing told me my duties were over. But what am I gonna do? Just go, okay, bye? Especially after we've come this far together? No. I'm going to face Luis with you. Even if it is scary.
Even you've got to cope with anxiety, eh?
I've realized something in our travels. Anxiety can lead people astray. But overcoming it makes a person stronger. There's always anxiety in the unknown. I know what it's like to be afraid of something I don't understand. That's why I think it's my duty to help people face and connect with their anxiety. Is that okay? From now on, it's not about orders. I'm with you, because I want to be.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I want you by my side until the end.
Same here. Stick close to me, okay?
You got it, partner.
Well, we're past the worst of it. But the problem remains. Luis's dark magic. We've seen it turn the boy into a monster. And no doubt he can do it again.
A forbidden spell, turning sane mortals into the fearsome human monsters. In other words, a destabilizing magic, turning a person's magla into a snarl beyond control. This man named Luis. He may have his own past in this ancient sanctum.
Luis has been here? What do you know of him?
What do you wish to know?
Alright, let's start from the top here. What exactly do you know about this guy?
Who exactly is Luis?
Every time I heard of his doings in the wider world, I felt more and more sure that Luis is from this village.
Wait, what?
His knowledge of humans, his skills in magic, his grasp of darker arts. They're all beyond a mere soldier to begin with, however prodigious. As it happens, a name does occur. Among those old families who perished in the fire, there was one by the name of Caradrius, a family of doctors, I believe. In an effort to better heal the ills of the people, they had studied spells much like the ones he now exploits. The details are long since lost to the fire. But if Luis bears our legacy, that may be the reason for his vast knowledge.
Wait! What about Luis's ambition? The vision Rella saw? Do you think he actually wants to turn everyone in the kingdom into humans?
There is no known magic strong enough to turn many people at once. and none that can be cast quickly.
Even if it was possible, I don't know what it would accomplish. But this is Luis we're talking about. Who knows what he's thinking?
What do you wish to know?
The Caradrius. Isn't that the name of Luis's ship? And yeah. No magic strong enough to turn so many people at once, and then they can be cast quickly. Except for maybe perhaps if he had the royal scepter. So, if Luis did come from this village, and his parents died during Fortin's attack, and yeah, this is all, well, part of Luis's motives. He wants to completely destroy Sanctism, and he's already killed Fortin, so yeah, that's one half of his revenge complete. But then again, who knows what exactly he wants? It can't be just something as simple as revenge. He would have just ended it after he killed Fortin and denounced the church. But no, he just all Luis wants to do now is just watch the world burn.
What is this forbidden spell?
The essence of magic is in the control of Magla. However, just as its chaos may be calmed, it can also be deliberately pushed out of control. That was what you saw. He whipped your innate magic to a frenzy, and you were lost to melancholia. Just as the humans of the ancient war once were. In every age, the cause and effect are the same. People learn fear, become slaves to their anxiety, suffer, and thus, the power of magic is born.
Pardon me. You mean to say anxiety is the source of all magic?
Magla is a substance born of the heart, generated when one feels anxiety or fear. By certain means, it may be kindled into power. That is what we call magic. In this way, it is by virtue of the anxiety in our hearts that we gain the power to overcome it. Magic is a natural process, and anxiety is its invaluable, irreducible fuel. But in turn, those burdened with more anxiety and fear produce more and more Magla from their hearts. Without the willpower to face your fear, the Magla overflows. Uncontrollable by magic, it can give rise to strange and terrible happenings as it manifests, with the world embroiled in chaos. These outbursts of swollen magic may be happening all across our kingdom.
'Tis the answer to everything. The melancholia crystals, the beasts driven feral. The very land is erupting with the weight of its people's fears.
Hold on. If Luis's art is rooted in bringing out this chaos, then anyone might be next. He said he became a monster because he's elder, but that wasn't the complete story. If what you say is true...
Indeed. All people today are ultimately descendants of humankind. If Luis so chooses, he could turn anyone into a human monster. Yet as long as you have the strength to confront your fears, even this transformation may be defied and overcome.
But if he would turn people into humans, if in the unlikely event that happens...
If there is any motive for such cruelty, it can only be hatred. If Luis is truly from this village, then their fire would have cost him everything. Such unjust tragedy could easily beget a thirst for revenge, even if it meant wielding a magic that twisted life into something terrible, instead of uplifting it. Indeed, it seems the opposite of an archetype. A truly dark power.
Who goes there? Someone flees!
That's him. The malformed assassin who struck at the prince. He's bound for the woods.
After him!
Oh, Zorba! Get your pretty little ass out here!
The truth of melancholisation. Magla particles are produced by feelings of anxiety, and when fear or apprehension become excessively strong, unconscious feelings of hostility and the desire to eliminate the source of those feelings are transmuted into Magla, triggering an unintentional outburst of magic which can go rampant. Melancholisation is when creatures and surrounding objects undergo an irregular transformation due to this magical outburst. Although it is thought that severe medicalization that alters even the physical appearance of a subject could not occur outside wartime and present-day peace, there are actually increasing cases of medicalization outside of people-occupied lands. It's unclear what's causing these unnatural occurrences, as though the kingdom has been plagued with years-long anxiety. The truth about igniters. Igniters insist with the most difficult part of using magic, the process of accurately imagining the phenomenon one wishes to bring about. An igniter substitutes imagination with a formula and its circuits, making magic easier. This technology was created in the old world where people who had already discovered magic used igniters to amplify their power. Igniters and the technology that created them were lost in the aftermath of the War of Destruction and became forbidden as a result. But as people began to seek magic again over time, igniters were rediscovered and used in quite the opposite way they had originally been intended. Those in power disseminated them with the falsehood that they were a requirement for the use of magic, in an effort to prevent magic from becoming the destructive force it once was. Their collar-like form is a symbol of this. The truth of relics. Originally highly advanced magic igniters, they were created with old world technology before the dawn of destruction, rediscovered and passed down until the present. Each has various differing functions, though a majority were created as dangerous weapons of war. Their capabilities and perils have already begun to be rediscovered, and many are treated in accordance with local superstition. The truth of magic. A technique that uses magla crystals to intervene in the laws of physics and cause phenomena that would not occur in natural state. Since magla is linked to one's mind, magic can, in theory, be used to control nature by the power of will alone with enough training. Magic was discovered before the War of Destruction and became the driving force behind the breakthroughs of civilization, ushering in a golden age. However, magic is also the embodiment of the weakness, vileness, and deep-seated fear of the mind, ultimately becoming the weaponized downfall of humanity in history's most notorious war. So, basically, magic is powered by the darkest desires of humanity. And the truth of magla. Unique particles discovered toward the end of the old world. One of the smallest components that make up creation, there's a strong correlation to cognition and the psyche. Its properties were studied, and a technique was discovered that used the workings of the mind to interfere with the physical world, leading to the creation of magic. However, it's theorized that many practiced it empirically long before it was classified as science. The term mag comes from the word magla, and in the old world, mag was simply its unit of measurement. However, laymen do not grasp its true meaning, as the characters used to write it have changed, to say nothing of the existence of the old world being repressed knowledge. And Louise's dark arts. A horrific magic Louise used against Morpheus, presumed to function by forcibly circulating overwhelming magla through a person's body, artificially causing extreme melanchalization and turning the person into a monster. Self-evidently impossible without deep nature of buried truths, such as magla's nature and the origin of humans. It provides a glimpse into Luis's true origin and the world he envisions, among other things. And the truth of humans. The giant outburst of magic heralding the War of Destruction's end melancholized much of old world humankind to become what the world knows as humans today. Some vestiges of their humanity are evidenced in the various body parts that resemble modern people. Human biology is irregular. Some are capable of reproduction, others are capable of living hundreds of years. The particulars are beyond modern understanding. And the truth of the Elder tribe. Descendants of humans who lived in the old world and progenitors of the 8 tribes that came to populate the modern world following the rampage of civilization and devastation following the War of Destruction. After the War of Destruction, most of humanity fractured into the tribes of the modern world. However, unknown to the majority of people, the descendants of some nobles who escaped the flames of war retained their mostly featureless forms over generations. They also retained much knowledge and magic from the old world thought lost, but because they know the destruction it had led to, many actively avoid the post-war world and choose to live hidden and secluded. And yeah, the ancient humans, Elda. Alright.
What now?
And here it is, the Prince. Makes synthesis skills easier to activate, lead, allies, and making the most of their strengths with unique skills. Cooperative Chase. Support attacks from comrades happen more easily. Yep. Heroic Slash, Heroes Proving, Radiance. Let's see, Royal Sword, Armageddon's Final Sire, the Chronicle in the End. Alright, well, I'm going to go and sort myself through this. So, going to call it a day, and then we'll chase after Zorba. So, till next time, folks, this is David on David's Brain. See you when I see you. Bye-bye.